Hi, all. My name is Joey. Welcome back to the Practice Center, where we talk about all things mindfulness, forgiveness, and attitudinal healing. And today I want to talk to you about dating. So, I am a single woman. I have recently decided that I'm ready to date after a long hiatus during COVID. Just a couple of statistics. I've been divorced for a very long time. I've had some relationships here and there, but nothing that felt serious to me. And then all of a sudden this year, I'm feeling like I'm ready to like date in terms of like partnering up. And so here are the stumbling blocks that I'm feeling. I've met some really cool people so far, and most of that has been like phone dates and then Zoom dates. So I am on apps, and the Zoom dates have a way of I feel like I'm getting to know people on there. So recently there's this person in particular that is very warm and open and inviting. Like if you were to ask me, like, what would you want in a guy? Like what would your conversations look like or feel like? What would you guys be talking about? Like this is it. And yet at the beginning, so this has been a little less than a month, but approaching a month, where it's daily conversations. And I feel a little bit giddy talking about it. He lives far away, so it will be a while before we're in the same place, and that has me nervous. And because I'm such a in-person kind of a person, I almost feel like it feels fake. And so some of the thinking that I've been doing is when he says like warm and lovely things, I feel myself kind of going, that sounds fake. Or this is just what he says to everyone. Or like, just questioning. And I can feel the constriction happening. And I almost was like, I think I'm done with this because this doesn't feel legit, whatever legit is. And then I sent off a text to my girlfriends, and they talked me down off a ledge, which is great. It's good to have girlfriends that can talk you down off a ledge. And I thought about it for a moment. And I thought about it not from here, but I came back into um, just being with myself around those voices. And so instead of either trying to push them away, so when I heard myself going, that feels too mushy or too fake, my tendency is to like double down on that, or to then battle myself. God, Joey, what's wrong with you? This is why so the fighting will begin in my mind. And so I caught myself in that after I came down, and I just listened to that for a second. So it was, this feels warm, this feels mushy. And then I recognize, oh, this feels unfamiliar. Okay. Do you like it in this moment? Let's say it was all fake. Let's say it was all bullshit. In that moment, in the conversation, how does it feel? And I'm like, it feels lovely. And I think part of the issue was that I think in the past, even if I didn't feel like, I've said I love you to people that I did not love, because I felt in my past, I only said yes to people who wanted me. I never proactively like looked for my partner. I don't know if that makes sense. And it feels so weird at this age to be disclosing this or even thinking it or talking about it. And so I know that, people would look at me, however, and then go, oh, I love you. And then I'd be like, oh, I love you too. The desire to just kind of match whatever it is, regardless of what I was feeling in here, is how I used to move. And so I think I um, currently am I've built trust with myself around maintaining my boundaries, but I haven't practiced it within the context of dating. And so that's been really interesting. So these last 2 weeks, I've been just observing, how does it feel? It feels good. So if it feels good, can it just feel good? And then, like, it doesn't have to mean anything. It doesn't have to mean that this guy is faking it and he's going to be totally different in the future. It might be very true, or it might be me just being my normal self, which tends to be self-sabotaging and really, like, not very open when it comes to the loving relationships that I've said that I've wanted in the past. I've made terrible mistakes in the past. And what would it mean to trust myself to maintain my boundaries when I need to, but actually open myself up to love? This isn't love. So just, it's not. But what would it feel like to open myself up to real love? What would I need to do? And this is what I would need to do is, if somebody wants to be loving and kind and send me mushy things, instead of battling with them or myself, to say, do I feel resistance? What is that about? Is it grounded in reality? Is it, am I making some choices just to keep myself miserable? I know how to do single life really, really well. I'm really good at it. And in fact, that's the language that I use often, is that, if I was single for the rest of my life, I think I would be okay. I think I would manage. And there's no doubt about it. I think I would, but I think I would rather be in partnerships. I really do blossom in good partnerships. So it's a little bit scary. It's a little bit new feeling. And so my current mindfulness practice around this is to just really be present in the moment, no matter what, with acceptance. So if I feel like calling him, I call. If I feel like I want to see his face, I want to FaceTime him, I FaceTime him. If I feel like I want to send him a note and a picture, I do it. And if this doesn't last forever, I wouldn't know that anyway from this moment. I would only know that as I get to the next moments. And so I'm going to just keep practicing that and notice how that feels. And maybe I'll share more here, maybe I won't, but I wanted to talk specifically on how I notice myself behaving. And then I'm going to ask you, all you single people out there, maybe that you're in middle life like I am, and kind of what kind of self-talk do you do? Because my single friends or people who are talking about dating on the interwebs, I hear the common issue that I have. I hear it in others. So, for example, they'll say, "Oh, the first date didn't go very well. He's like this kind of, this kind of, this kind of person." How could you possibly know that on a first date, when, especially first dates after COVID? You guys, we are out of practice in um, being with one another. So I think particularly right now, to really allow some time to allow people to get to know one another, and for us to kind of stumble around, how do we communicate in these new relationships? So I will stumble, and I hope that I will be given the grace to kind of apologize or restart or redo or rethink, or and and that's, I think, what I'm practicing, is giving him grace um to see if this is really him. It feels really authentic. That's the thing too, is then I go, well, then that probably means he's a sociopath, or blah, blah. It's just, my brain goes so too much true crime. So I have the safety of space and the lovely benefit of mindfulness practice. So that one phone call, that one moment, that one interaction, I want to just be in that moment without judgment, without judging if it's going to be like that in 5 years time, in 10 years time, or a 1 week time, or when we're face to face. And that's the mistake that I see in a lot of dating folks out there. So, what would it feel like just to enjoy that first date or that first month or that moment, whatever that looks like? What would that feel like? Would that change your relationship to your dating life? It definitely is for me in my ability to enjoy that moment in this moment. So that's all I wanted to say. I would love to hear where you guys are and what you think of dating or what struggles you have. And does this kind of practice support you in dating the way that you really want? Or maybe will it open up the possibility of falling in love if that's what you want? Oh, I'm excited for life. Whether it's with this person or not. It was really cool to kind of observe that in myself. And I hope you talk about what you observe in yourself and share and talk to like trusted people around your process too. All right. Thanks for listening. I'll see you soon.